Thank you for listening to Galacticus-man. All characters and places are fictionalized. Any similarities to persons living or dead is purely satirical. On the planet of Earth, the small mystical island, previously undiscovered, uncharted, and unknown to humanity, has been found by Earth's nefarious wizard, Antoine Fausti, also known as the Science. The Science, having established his base of operations on this mystical island, is ostensibly using his laboratories as medical and zoological research centers. But in fact, these laboratories are being used for much more flagitious purposes. In a deep tunnel, far, far below the medical laboratory compound, the Science has built his own personal vault in order to hide and protect a secret artifact which he has discovered in the caves below. With this artifact, he has been able to reach out, make contact, and form nefarious plans with extraterrestrial life from the far side of the galaxy. In this lower subterrane, yet outside the vault where the Science keeps this precious artifact, two Faustian lab employees are conversing. Look, I don't see why we gotta guard this stupid tunnel. I mean, the boss had thick bars installed down that thing. You ever gone to the end of this tunnel? Haven't. It's got these big bar grates bored directly into the rocks. Covers the whole passage. I mean, what's he think's gonna get up through here? Bears? I don't think bears go this deep in caves. Right? Besides, I don't think this island's got bears. It stinks down here. It's cold. There's iron bars covering that stupid opening, and the vault is like 4-inch thick armor plate. Armor plate! They could set off a bomb next to it and nothing would happen. Hey, maybe he's worried about the vampires, huh? Yeah, the vampires. Hey, why did they give us guns anyway? Shouldn't they have given us crucifixes and like some garlic or something? Hey, I brought some holy water. Heh. Wait, are you serious? I ain't taking any chances. Oh, give me a break. There is literally no point in us doing patrols down here. I mean, what's in that stupid vault anyways? It's a science lab. There's, medical stuff. That's upstairs, dingo. We're 1.5 miles underground. Ah! Holy smokes, man. How'd you do that? I didn't do that.
We're okay. Do you really think there's vampires down here?
And dragons? No, dingus. People just say that because of the...
What was that?
That was an arrow. An arrow! Okay, yeah, something's going on. Can you, Oh, another arrow. Radio base? Hey, wait a minute. There's no signal. No static, nothing. Is it on? Yeah, look. See the little light thingy? Holy crap! Who's shooting arrows at us? Probably whoever it is that's shouting doom. Where are they? Look, if I knew that, I would shoot them. Okay, yes, doom, we get it. Okay, why don't you come out here where we can see you? Oh my gosh. Michael. Well, there's a lot of you, aren't there? Is that war paint?
I think they just look like that.
Holy crap. Are they gonna eat us?
Radio's still dead. Yeah, you got your guns.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Count to 3 and start shooting.
So, how'd you guys get in here? Silent types, huh? Ha!
Gun on fire. Holy crap, you see that?
Hey, easy now, fellas.
A little beat on me. No, back off.
No, what? You are listening to Galacticus-man, Episode 4 of Chapter 1, The Ghost of Solaris. The plot so far. The evil wizard of Earth, Dr. Antoine Fausti, also known as the Science, has created and distributed a terrible virus in order that he may subject humanity, the future children of Earth, to the Krogan Empire. Earth's president, Ronald Thump, has agreed to shut down the concourse of the entire planet for 2 weeks in order to stop the spread of the disease. But will this action merely play into the hands of the Science? Meanwhile, our hero is embroiled in a battle with space pirates, led by the criminal genius, the Commodore, would set this raid in motion in order to capture and kill our hero Galacticus-man, known to the pirates as the Ghost of Solaris. We return now to Barge 5 of the Moon Caravan, where our hero Galacticus-man has gotten the drop on the notorious pirate criminal genius, the Commodore.
The two of you get into that crate!
Guns! You see that, Mr. Rusk? They have guns! I told you they were scaring my precious Roderick.
Now see here, Mr. I don't know who you are, but I can tell you that you don't want to do this. I'm here because the President of Earth sent a telegram on this good woman's behalf.
The President? On her behalf?
Tais-toi, Rupert! Now, is the President the descendant of the great Napoleon Bonaparte? Well, I don't believe so, no. He's rather an American chap.
Ah, you see?
Then I don't care. Get in the crate. Ah, my hand! Ah!
Not so fast, Commodore.
Yeah, hold it!
Yeah, what he said. Lavasha, it's you! Watch your French now. There's a lady present. Galacticus-man, you shot the gun right out of my hand and it hurts really bad.
Good. Perhaps you'll think twice next time you consider training arms on innocent civilians.
Oh, don't play high and mighty with me, Galacticus-man. You just killed Monsieur Frop.
In fact, my weapon's on stun, Commodore, a fact that you failed to notice despite the fact that you still have a hand. Mr. Frop there is merely unconscious and will recover shortly, which I dare say is more than the murderer deserves.
I spit on the grave of your third cousin twice removed on your mother's side.
Honestly, I'm not even sure I have one of those.
Yeah, well, your helmet looks ridiculous. And under you probably have bad breath.
In that case, Commodore, at least one of us has chosen not to afflict others with our halitosis.
I have an excuse. I'm French. I eat a lot of garden snails and such like.
You know, Commodore, if I didn't know any better, I'd say you're merely a comical caricature of a Frenchman.
You dare bring into question my French nicety? Pugh! I spit in your chicken dinner!
My chicken dinner?
Oui, it is an old French saying that I just made up. Well, thank you, stranger, for your assistance, but I don't think I've had the pleasure of your acquaintance.
You can call me Galacticus-man. I'm running security for this caravan.
What? No, sir, I believe there must be some sort of miscommunication. I own this caravan. I didn't hire you.
Wait, are you sure?
Certainly, I contracted Mr. Frop there. Dreadful mistake that, what? I should have known. The man's a terrible dancer. Never thought I'd drive him to this, though.
So you didn't... I thought we... Square pot. Didn't we...
Pardon, but I haven't the foggiest idea who you are. Oh, Monsieur Rusk, you will have to forgive our friend here. He is completely insane. He thinks he is some sort of gendarme. Or how you say... sheriff? Lawman? But he cannot remember what happens from one moment to the next. Is that so? Oh, yes. He and I have experience together. We go back many years. But he probably doesn't remember even this, do you, Galacticus-man?
You can shut your mouth, Commodore.
You see? He doesn't know what to answer because he doesn't recall who I am. Is what he's saying true, sir?
Don't listen to him. He's just playing head games with you because it's the only advantage he has now that I have the gun trained on him.
You see? He won't answer the question. And he thinks you contracted him for security on this caravan. You are in the charge of a madman.
Well, he does hear voices and talks to people in his head. Tommy, don't side with the pirate. He just saved everyone's lives.
Quite so. He did it that, didn't he? I may not have contracted him, but I jolly well would in the future. Oh, he has very impressive skills, I'll give you that. But he is dangerous in the extreme. You are on his good side right now, maybe. But in 10 minutes he forget who you are and incinerate you with his blast equivocator. He's done it before.
Is that true?
I don't know.
Well, I suppose I'll jolly well take my chances. Thank you all the same, Mr. Commodore. Now, you two security men, why are you wearing those spacesuits?
An astute question, Mr. Rusk. Earl and Tommy have prepared themselves for a hull failure. We've actually brought 2 other spacesuits with us. One was meant for Mr. Frop here, but I suppose you should put it on, Mr. Rusk. We'll put Mr. Frop into that crate with Rupert and the Commodore.
I'm not getting in that crate.
Well, suit yourself, pirate fiend. I guess we won't have to waste a jail cell on you if you've been sucked into the cold darkness of space.
Let me ask you this, Galacticus-man. Where are my men?
Well, let's see now. Your nephew Rupert killed one of them trying to shoot me.
Rupert!
But Uncle!
Tais-toi!
The other is tied, bound, and stuffed in a box over that way. Perhaps you'll be able to share a prison cell together. That would be a happy ending.
And the others?
What others?
My first mate, he tells me that you were picking them off one by one, that you had succeeded in taking out the entire crew of the Scurvy Swan except the 4 of them. Have you killed all my men?
Commodore, you can rest assured that I did whatever I had to subdue them.
You don't remember, do you?
Does it matter?
Ha! Take notice of this, Mr. Rusk. He cannot remember what happened an hour ago. Do not put your confidence in this man. And you cannot even remember if you killed or saved lives. Do you really think you are equipped to do this dangerous vigilante work? How many have you killed and you do not remember? The Solaris Rangers were disbanded 20 years ago. You are no lawman. You are not even hired for this caravan. You are completely insane. You are a danger to yourself and everyone else.
Yes, well, as much as I'm enjoying this motivational speech from a master of organized crime, how about you shut your mouth before I shoot you again?
Heh!
Now, Miss Cat Lady.
Cat lady? Cat lady? What is that supposed to mean?
Her name is Mrs. Magooseman.
Right. Mrs. Magooseman, I've got a crate here with some cargo that you may be interested in.
Luggage? Luggage? I don't care about silly old luggage. I just want my precious Roderick back. Oh, my Roderick, poor baby. Roderick? Oh, Roderick, could it be you? My precious Flumpy Crumpets, my sweet Snickly Wookums. Why have you put her in a box?
That is a space-safe crate, and it's very important for Roderick right now because we're about to have a bit of a windstorm. We've brought a couple of extra spacesuits here, and I'm gonna need you to put one of them on. And you too, Mr. Rusk.
Well, certainly, but whatever for?
Well, Mr. Rusk, there's about to be a hull breach. At that time, whatever is not strapped down will be blown out of a tiny man-sized hole. So, Earl and Tommy will help you with your spacesuit and then strap you down with your precious little flubbly bumpkins there.
Oh, my. Who is that dashing, freckled-faced Casanova in the spacesuit?
That's Earl.
Hi.
Well, maybe dashing young Earl would like to be the one to strap me down.
Maybe Mr. Rusk can help you with your spacesuit. Would that be nice? That would be nice. Mr. Rusk, would you like to assist with the, lady's spacesuit, please?
Indubitably.
Wait, are you serious about this whole breach? Did you set some sort of explosive or something?
There already is a whole breach, Commodore. I've just sealed it. The seal will expire in, 2 minutes and 29 seconds now.
Wait, really? Haven't you got another spacesuit? I don't want to die.
No, I don't imagine you do, Rupert. I think it would be in your best interest if you and your uncle here picked up Mr. Fropp and got into that crate. But then as you're all convinced that I'm crazy, perhaps you'd better not follow my advice. Perhaps I only think there's a hull breach. I'm sure you'll be fine. On the other hand, if I am right, you sure will save the court system a lot of hassle if you just get sucked out into the cold darkness of space. Up to you, Rupert.
What about my men? Assuming any of them are still alive.
Well, Commodore, I have to admit, to the vindication of your recent tirade about my memory, that is an unfortunate oversight on my part.
So, you're just going to let them die?
They're bad men who work for you. It's not a question I'm going to lose sleep over.
Well, aren't you the pinnacle of integrity?
Well, all right, Mr. Galactus.
It's Galacticus-man. Galaxis is my vacuum.
Right. At any rate, I'm all suited up, and Mrs. McGooseman and Roderick are firmly secured.
Great. Tommy, could you help strap Mr. Rusk down to one of the cargo dunnage bolts?
You got it, Chief. Okay, look, I'm getting in a crate.
You know, Rupert, I think that's the best decision you've made this entire excursion. You go ahead and drag Mr. Fropp in there with you. It's only fair.
Listen, Galacticus-man. I have several ships standing by. You won't get away with this.
We'll see. All right. We've got about 47 seconds left. Earl and Tommy, have you double-checked that everyone is securely strapped down?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Make sure you're anchored yourselves.
You are bluffing. You may be wearing an harness and carrying straps. You have not strapped yourself down. I think you just want to get me in that crate.
Sounds good, Commodore. Just stand right where you are. Everyone else, we've got about 30 seconds.
Fine! I'm getting in.
Oh, suit yourself. Would you like me to latch it for you? Yes, please. Anything for you, Commodore. All right, Squarebot. Be ready to receive me. I'll be headed your way in 3, 2, 1, and... Now wait a minute. Squarebot, is my timing off?
Negative. But I suppose it is possible that the battery has lasted slightly longer than anticipated. Or perhaps that someone has closed the door to the computer room aboard the Scurry Swine, thus effectively sealing the breach.
How about that? Hey, how's that for irony, Commodore? You were right. There is no hull breach. Suddenly, an immense wind blasts everything toward the far wall of the barge. The cargo being strapped in or otherwise secured by locking dunnage, Galacticus-man finds himself alone, lifted from the floor and flying toward the opening. Without the aid of his jetpack, he is at the mercy of the violent force of the wind, carrying him at incredible speed toward the opening in the hull. As the Commodore tragically predicted, a bound pirate from some other location on the barge is flying in the same direction toward the hole which the pirates had drilled when they had connected their ship to the barge. The force of the wind is like a flowing river current, but as Galacticus-man approaches the hull, he finds that he is likely to strike the edge of its opening before passing through it. He reaches out and grabs the flailing body of the bound pirate and twists his own body with all his might in an attempt to throw the pirate into the direct center of the airstream. Thankfully, the pirate's body catches the airstream like a sail, with our hero clinging to him. The two are pulled away from the edges of the opening and pass through without striking the wall. Our hero attaches one of the tie-down straps he's carrying to the bound pirate and affixes a grappling grenade from his utility belt to the other end. As they pass down the corridor toward the hull breach in the computer room, Galacticus-man throws the grappling grenade with all his might at the corridor wall. The grenade, striking the wall, erupts with a localized explosion, forcing titanium barbs into the steel wall. Suddenly, the soaring pair of them are jolted to a stop as the strap goes taut. Galacticus-man uses the pirate as a body shield as they slam into the side of the corridor. As our hero clings to the strap tethering the pirate, he affixes another to his own harness and another grappling grenade to the new strap. He must be carefully precise in order to close the breach, collect his shield belt, and escape the barge. Little bits of small debris that have not been secured blast past him, and he feels strangely disoriented by the fact that though gravity is not changed, yet the force of the wind is so strong as to have taken its place. He can see the door to the computer room where the wind is headed just beyond his feet as if below him. Quickly calculating the length of the strap affixed to his harness, our hero drops the grappling grenade and then leaps from the wall in order to get nearer the center of the airstream. As his body catches the stream, he is propelled faster than the grenade which he has dropped and finds himself flying past it. For an instant he panics as he had not anticipated this. But just as he passes the grenade and is blown into the computer room, the grenade slams into the jamb of the computer room door. Due to the length of the strap, then the unexpected delay in the grappling grenade finding anchor, Galacticus-man is blasted through not one, but 2 openings. Again, our hero is jolted to a stop as the tether snaps taut, yet he finds himself on the outside of the pirate ship, having passed through both the computer room and the breach in the hull. In fighting through the mighty force of the tempest, our hero's body is already feeling immense strain, yet now, without the use of his jetpack, he uses all the strength of his arms to begin to pull himself against the wind and climb the tether back into the computer room. Once, no, twice, he nearly loses his grip and falls back to the end of the tether. Climbing up through the hurricane force of the wind is a near impossible task. Finally, he's climbed back up the strap far enough that he can set his foot in the loop created by its slack and rest for a brief moment. Standing in the stirrup of the strap loop brings his upper torso through the hull breach where he is able to strain his arm against the wind and grab hold of his shield belt, detaching it from the wall. Yet now he must climb all the way through the computer room so that he can close its door, finally shutting off the release of air from the barge. Suddenly, Squarebot's voice comes in through his helmet's teletransmitter.
Galacticus-man, I have been observing the breach in the pirate ship's hull through our onboard chronophotography system. It appears you exited the ship, but are now climbing back into it?
Yes, I have to close the breach.
Well, what's taking so long?
I have to climb all the way back and close the door.
Yes. Well, please try to bear in mind that there are still a number of pirate ships out here, and the longer you take closing the breach, the more likely the barge will lose its artificial atmosphere entirely.
Thanks for the reminder. I'm sort of busy right now, so unless you help or anything, maybe you could just stop talking to me.
Oh, certainly. Yes, unfortunately, in a case like this, I am not sure there's anything I can do. I suppose I would have been able to get Hal to shut the computer room door if you had not already disabled him. So yes, I guess it really is all on your shoulders. Once again, Galacticus-man.
Yeah, thanks. But really, could you stop talking now? It really is quite distracting.
Oh, I know how I can help.
Wait, you do?
Yes, like when you're exercising. It seems to help to have triumphant music to pep you up. Would you like me to play you a tune?
Huh? I guess?
Let's see. Here's a peppy old tune with some spunk to it.
Really? Old classical. Well, it's kind of catchy. I like it. Matter of fact, that almost seems like a really good Ranger theme song. Now, pumped by the catchy tune, our hero begins his ascent again. Thankfully, he is now able to grip the strap with his legs and feet. Yet it requires all the strength of his body to fight against the tempest. Occasionally, he creates a loop in the strap, wrapping his hand in it in order to dangle from that spot to rest. But the force of the wind quickly seizes his hand, so intensely that it seems as though it will be crushed by the strap. So on he continues. After some minutes, he finally reaches the doorway into the computer room, where an emergency door lever is fixed. He creates an unruly knot which will hold him in place just below the door, and then reaching with both hands, he clasps the door lever. His body is already exhausted from the climb. Yet now, with the strap knotted, he hoists his legs over his head, setting his feet on the edge of the jam, and begins to pull the lever. Slowly, the door begins to slide closed. And as our hero's strap is passing through the door, the more it closes, the more it pushes his tether, and thereby him further away from the lever itself. He continues to pull at the lever until he can no longer reach it with his arms. Then, changing tack, he braces himself against the closing door with his arms and pulls at the lever with his feet. The hiss of the wind through the gap of the door becomes greater and greater until finally the door pinches shut. Immediately, Galacticus-man cuts the strap, letting the force of the remaining airstream blast him out through the breach once again.
I see you've shot out of the breach, and the airstream now appears to be ceased. Excellent work, Galacticus-man.
Oh, thank you, Jesus.
Are you prepared to engage some pirate ships in a space battle?
Can't it ever end?
Galacticus-man, are you all right?
Everything hurts.
Good workout, then? I'll make you a protein shake. Would you like an egg in it?
I'd like to never move again, please.
I'll put in 2 eggs. I'm flying by. You will have to climb back into the ship, however.
The Starfire approaches our drifting hero, Squarebot maneuvering directly into his trajectory. Our hero continues to tumble until he finally arrives at the Starfire. As he makes contact, his body is arrested by the ship's artificial gravity, thus holding him against it as he musters the strength to crawl unceremoniously to the manport and clamber back aboard. Our hero, having just struggled his way from the barge through a powerful airstream, has returned to the Starfire. His violent expulsion from the barge through the airstream has left his body taxed to exhaustion. Yet, despite his exhaustion, he must immediately begin to fight with the space pirate vessels, lest the pirate crew reboard the barge now that she is repressurized, and bringing Galacticus-man's allies back in danger of pirate attack. As our hero climbs through the manport and makes his way to the bridge of the Starfire, Squarebot uses the opportunity to brief Galacticus-man on the sundry pirate vessels surrounding the barge.
The Scurvy Swine was the first pirate vessel we encountered. It attached to the barge and began to burgle it. You entered the barge by passing through the Scurvy Swine and have returned through the same vessel. While you were aboard the barge, 3 other pirate ships arrived. The Ugly Churl, the Staggering Tippler, and the Vomitous Vagrant.
Well, I guess you've got to give them some credit for creativity in naming their vessels. Go on.
The Ugly Churl was the second pirate vessel which docked upon the barge.
I see. The Ugly Churl must be the vessel that the Commodore arrived on.
The Staggering Tippler and the Vomitous Vagrant have been drifting in patrol patterns about the barge. They have remained cloaked to radar. Although thankfully, as you have taken out the crew of the Scurvy Swine and the Ugly Churl is still attached to the barge, these are the only 2 pirate vessels which can engage us at present. And I have created a diversion in order to befuddle them.
Befuddle, eh? What was the diversion you created?
While drifting about the barge, I have been dropping probes as buoys. I've dropped 12 in various locations. After informing the computer of the Ugly Churl that it had been invaded, I began ghosting our ship by projecting radar pings from the probes, making it seem as though our vessel has been appearing and disappearing in sundry locations, and sometimes more than one location at once. The tactic is nearly outused, but for the moment it only adds to their reverence of you and plays to the pirates' fears of the Ghost of Solaris.
Our hero finally arrives at the bridge of the Starfire and collapses into the pilot's seat. Great work, Squarebot. That is a wonderful setup for our next move. It's time to engage the pirates. We'll appear visible on radar when we fire. Let's keep those probes pinging, so that even if they realize they are probes, they may think that we are too.
A prudent plan. Your protein shake, Galacticus-man.
Oh, thanks.
Every ingredient has been selected to optimize muscular recovery.
Oh my gosh, that's awful.
Yes, it probably tastes bad because of the celery I added to it for the natural electrolytes. Is the quantity sufficient, I could certainly make a second batch.
Thanks, but no. We need to start attacking the pirate ships.
Ah, quite right. Time is of the essence.
Ready weapons. We must strike first at that second vessel. The ugly churl. That's gotta be the ship that the Commodore arrived on, and no doubt it's full of reinforcements who will free the Commodore as soon as possible. But we'll have to be incredibly precise, as they're still attached to the barge and our allies are still there. If we're not perfectly accurate, we could perforate the hull of the barge. Ideally, however, I'd like to strike them with some sort of percussive attack that would rock their vessel, making it necessary to detach from the hull and engage us.
We do have mines which we could fire from the torpedo chutes at the ugly churl.
Yes, but those explode on contact. I'm concerned if they actually strike the pirate vessel, the explosions may tear open the barge. How about this? Could we fire the mines just off the pirate ship's hull? Say 5 to 10 meters? Then detonate it, say with a laser blast?
Certainly. Lasers being essentially concentrated light streams move much faster than any missile fired from the torpedo bay. I believe that would work and have the effect you desire.
Good. Let's do it. I am also taking the helm and piloting us into position. Ready 5 mines to fire from the forward torpedo chutes.
Certainly. I have informed the Starfire computer, and she is even now readying the mines.
Let me know when they're ready to fire.
Certainly. Would you like some cool battle music while we wait?
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be great. Oh, hey, Ride of the Valkyries. That's a classic.
The first mine is prepared to fire.
Excellent. I've flown us into a parallel position just over the deck of the barge. Prepare lasers to fire.
Prepared.
Ready your calculations of trajectory. I'd like to shoot that mine as soon as it's directly over the housing area.
The housing area? Not the bridge? Or engine room?
Negative. Remember, we want them to rush to battle stations and disengage from the barge. The bridge and engine room need to remain intact.
Understood.
Fire the first mine.
The mine is closing. There. The mine has detonated directly over what I believe to be the living quarter.
Yes, I saw it, and I heard you fire the laser, but I didn't hear the explosion.
Correct. There is no sound in space, as it is a perfect vacuum.
Come on now, Jules Verne. Does everything have to be scientifically accurate?
Would you like me to create a synthetic sound effect next time?
Well, it would help me feel like we're getting something done. Prepare that second mine.
Certainly. I believe the last shot was too distant for the hole to have created the percussive effect we desired. They certainly would have felt it, but likely as a slight jolt. Shall we attempt to detonate it at the same location?
Yes, if we can. Exactly in the same spot. But try to get closer to the hull. I want them flying out of their bunks. We need to hammer them into battle stations.
Good. Second mine prepared.
Fire.
And 3, 2, 1. Firing laser. Kaboom!
Seriously, Squarebot? Kaboom?
Sorry, I'm still going through the effects database to find the appropriate sound. Besides, it seems like you would probably prefer the greater part of my concentration to be used in, you know, taking out the bad guys? That shot did much better. It appears that the percussion has created a few small fissures in the churl. Their living quarters should be losing atmosphere.
Great. Hit him with another. This time over the engine without doing serious damage to it. Let's give him a sense of urgency.
Loading third mine. We've been hit.
Yes, I noticed. One of the other ships must have seen us firing on the ugly churl. I want to hit them with that third mine, but I've got to adjust my location. What did they hit us with?
Thankfully, it was classificator fire. Our shield absorbed it, but I am unaware of what other weapons they may have.
Is that third mine ready?
It is.
All right, now that we're being tailed, we'll have to do that same maneuver in a flyby motion. Think we can do that if I pass right over the ugly churl?
I believe so.
Good, let's do that. But then we're gonna have to fight it out with that ship that shot us. If we don't get a good hit on this one, then I'll want you to blast them with laser fire as we pass. See if we can cut through their hole in the living quarters. I've got to get that tech off the barge so they don't go after our men aboard.
Understood.
Fire! Wow, Wow, that was a much better sound effect, Squarebot.
Actually, that time we were close enough to feel the shockwaves in the hole.
Alright, we've got to hit back whoever's firing on us. How close are they?
They are closing.
Great. Are they near enough to slice them up with the aft lasers?
Not quite. We likely missed with most of our bursts, wasting vital energy and potentially striking unintended targets.
Alright, but we've got to end this quickly. Assume their engines are located aft, so we won't be able to reach it with blastificator fire?
Affirmative.
Okay then, torpedoes it is. Send one right into their bridge.
Certainly. We'll have to make a swift starboard turn.
Great. Then maybe if it doesn't work, we can blast them with lasers after all. Ready, starboard torpedo shoot.
Ready.
Turning. And... fire!
Direct hit. Galacticus-man, the staggering Templar is now plunging directly towards the barge.
I can see that. Wait, can we tow them?
Yes, make a port side turn so that I can lock a tractor on them from aft. However, their engines are still powered and thrusters burning. We have to turn them slowly or we'll lose our hold.
Turning. Has the ugly churl disconnected from the barge?
Negative.
Alright then, let me know once you've got the Tippler in tow. I'd like to crash them directly into the churl.
I have them in tow. However,
Good, turning further to port, I'm going to throw them right into their friends.
aren't you concerned that doing so will cause collateral damage to the barge?
Yes, but I'm more concerned about those pirates reboarding and killing our allies to save the Commodore. I have to give them a much stronger reason to detach from the barge.
Understood.
Closing on the churl's location. Diving. And rearing back up!
Direct hit, but I have lost the tow hold through the collision. The Templar has bounced off the churl and is hurtling through space. And now the vomitous vagrant is flying directly toward us on port side.
Well, they had to appear sooner or later. Just glad you spotted them before they fired on us. Hit them with a blastificator and follow that with a torpedo.
Affirmative. They appear to be performing evasive maneuvers. Our blastificator first found some ground on their starboard, but we've completely missed with the missile.
I see that. I'm cruising toward them. As long as we get near enough, we'll peel them open with the laser fire. In the meantime, ready forward torpedo shoots.
Those 4 torpedo chutes are still loaded with mines.
I'm happy with that. They're maneuvering. Fire one at their starboard and follow immediately with a second toward the port side. If they get out of the way of the first one, we should still plug them with the other.
Torpedoes away. They've deflected the first torpedo with blastificator fire. The second struck their port side.
Really?
Oh, sorry. Kaboom! Kaplow!
Alright, I think we're near enough. Open with laser fire. Great hit! You just peeled them like an aluminum can.
Affirmative. And the ugly churl has detached from the barge.
Excellent. Turning aft. Have you got the forward torpedo chutes reloaded?
Affirmative.
But they're still too near the barge. Let's start hammering them with blastificator fire.
They appear to be retreating.
Abandoning their Commodore, are they? Well, that won't be the end of it. Since they're retreating, I have a fine angle on their engines. Hit them with those forward torpedoes. We gotta chase them down. I don't want them coming back here with friends.
Galacticus-man.
What the?
You have to hear this.
Who's talking?
Dear God, let him hear this. Galacticus-man, the Earthbound crystal is in danger. The amphibioloids of your world have discovered the proximal location of the Earthbound crystal. Galacticus-man, for God's sake, receive and respond. The fate of the Earth is in your hands. Repeat, the Earthbound crystal. The Archons of Earth have discovered its proximal location.
Squarebot? Squarebot, are you hearing that?
Negative. I hear nothing unusual. Are you experiencing some sort of mental episode?
I don't know. I think there's a telephone in my head.
There does seem to be some faint electromagnetic wave emanating from you. I believe the crystal shard has been activated.
Yes! The amphibioloids. Where is the salamander?
Galacticus-man, do you remember Tarosa?
Yes. Yes. Where is the sword of Tarosa?
It is aboard, still broken.
Broken, no. I have to destroy the crystal.
You did.
He killed her! Suddenly, Galacticus-man's body goes perfectly rigid.
Galacticus-man! Galacticus-man!
But our hero has become completely unresponsive. Aware that there is nothing he can do for Galacticus-man's episode, Squarebot retrieves the controls of the Starfire and continues in pursuit of the ugly churl. Galacticus-man finds himself somewhere in utter darkness, but with the full faculties of consciousness. Out of the darkness he can hear a familiar voice.
What do you mean they've taken it? I thought the Wizard of Earth had it. Has the fool given it to the frogs?
No, my lord. It seems as though it has been stolen.
Stolen by whom?
Some earthlings, my lord.
Earthlings? But not the amphibioloids?
So it was stolen by humans?
From a wizard?
It would appear so, my lord.
Tell me, Rasputius. Are you keeping the ultimate bad news from me? Has Satan stolen my crystal?
My lord,
It wasn't it? Curse you, Galacticus-man! I will conquer the devil. But if you hide these truths from me...
My lord, I don't believe it was him. It was some sort of primitive tribesman.
Primitive tribesman?
Yes, my lord. Loincloths and spears, bows and arrows. Primitives.
Primitives. Rasputius, 20 years ago, the humans were capable of space travel. They had artificial intelligence superior to our own. Their computer technology was astounding, and they would shortly have been capable of mass-producing armies of robots. So, just like you might tear off the sting of a scorpion, or pluck the wings of a wasp, I subdued them. But Rasputius, even if my attack set them back 150 years, they haven't restarted from the Stone Age! No, it must be a ploy. The Archons of Earth are deceiving you, or else Galacticus-man has stolen it. Pray for your sake it's the amphibioloids. At least they may bargain with us. But if you've allowed the devil to take my crystal... well, we trust that's not the case. In any event, you will get my crystal back, or unspeakable things will happen to you and your family. The Wizard of Earth, who's been speaking with you through it. Can you reach him some other way?
Yes, my lord. It is much more difficult because of the distance, but he had obtained a communicator left by Terosa.
Good. Make him retrieve my crystal. If they are truly human primitives, as you say, then a wizard should easily be able to kill them. If it's the Archons, we will have to negotiate. But it must not fall into the hands of Galacticus-man.
Suddenly, Galacticus-man finds himself no longer in darkness. He opens his eyes to see the bridge of the Starfire around him. Squarebot is piloting the vessel. It appears as though he has simply returned to himself. However, our hero feels as though he is actually in a dream. Everything about him, while familiar, seems strange, cloudy, disproportionate. He begins to wonder if he is asleep with his eyes open. Suddenly, he is engulfed with light, and feels himself being drawn backward, as if being pulled through the pilot's seat. Squarebot suddenly turns, and in a strange-sounding voice, ejaculates in shock. But before he could hear any more, our hero finds himself pulled through the cockpit seat, and suddenly flying in nearly the opposite direction from the Starfire through the darkness of space. His strange dream suddenly finds him on a small personal vessel, as though somehow his consciousness is a part of the vessel's computer system. Pangolia? Where's that? It's an island, recently discovered. Recently discovered? Back before the crash, we had satellites and photographs of the whole surface of the Earth. They just recently discovered a new island? Don't worry about the location. We know you have people. Aren't you meeting with some pirates or something over there? Family business of yours? Wait, how did you know that? We know things. Can you get us some pirates? We have a mission for them. I don't know. I had to leave the meeting abruptly. I could probably get you someone, though. Maybe not pirates, but... well, I've got other friends, too. Good. Get me some good fighting men. Reconnaissance or something. People who aren't afraid of the dark, or rock climbing, and who aren't squeamish about a little blood. Look, hang on. You know who I am. I can't get involved with anything too... grotesque. Oh, cold feet at the mention of blood. But don't worry, Archer. This is right up your alley. And if the money doesn't motivate you, just remember that you're working for the well-being of the one that you love. Which reminds me, you're not on that brain spice again, are you, Archer? Hey, look, you don't have to resort to threats. I'm not scared. I'm just looking out for the best interest of the big guy. Who's resorting to threats? But let's just remember that we're all working for the best interest of the big guy, Archer. You should trust us. Look, could you be more specific? No, that's not how this works. I'm vague. You must be specific. But don't worry, we've got people too, lots more than you do. We'll get more specific when we've got who we need. For the time being, get back to Earth and work on people. I need folks that'll disappear when the mission's over. Sure. Good then. We'll be in touch. Computer?
Yes, Archer.
The transmission is fully closed?
Affirmative.
Is there any way they might be tapping us?
None that I am aware of.
Oh my gosh. Pirates are one thing. In God's name, how did we get involved with these people?
Are you asking me?
What? Oh, forget it. Computer, can you tell me about the island of Pangolia? Back aboard the Starfire, Squarebot is continuing blastificator fire at the ugly churl. Squarebot.
Galacticus-man, are you okay? You seem to have had an episode.
I suppose I must have. What's going on?
We're in hot pursuit of pirates.
Yes, I remember that. I don't think I've had a lapse. We were in a dogfight. I was here in the cockpit, and suddenly, it was like I fell asleep.
Yes.
Squarebot, break pursuit. We have to get back to Earth.
I see. May I ask why?
I don't know. But we have to get back. Right away.
Did you have a memory?
No, I don't think so.
That is peculiar. At the outset of your episode, you mentioned the amphibioloids and the Sword of Tarosa as though you recalled them.
Yeah... no. That is, I'm not sure what happened. It's like I fell asleep. But we have to get back to Earth. It's like my whole soul is screaming at me to get back to Earth. There's nothing more important right now.
If you were asleep, did you dream anything? At one point during the episode, I felt an immense energy flux coming from your body. Something like a projected transmission.
Honestly, Squarebot, I don't remember anything. There was no dream, nothing. I just fell asleep. But now, we have to get back to Earth, and we have to get there as quickly as possible.
Understood. Breaking pursuit. Turning to aft.
Will Galacticus-man be able to recall the visions induced by the Galacticus crystal shard in his brain and discover the reason for his need to return to Earth? Can he return in time? Who has taken the Earth crystal, and will he be able to recover it? Find out next time as we begin the second chapter of Galacticus-man. Galacticus-man on the Isle of Dragons. Thank you for listening. If you have enjoyed this episode of Galacticus-man, it means that other people will like it too. Don't be a selfish jerk and keep it to yourself. Like and share. Feel free to go the extra mile and track people down in the streets and tell them,
I enjoy the Galacticus-man podcast.
I think that everyone should listen to
Why
it.
are you following me? You're a weirdo.
A weirdo who enjoys excellent entertainment. And I can't wait till the next episode of Galacticus-man. Share it on your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter, your MySpace, your happy place, your, I don't know, wherever else you can share it, too. Truth Social. And once you're done blowing your wig on social media, head on down to the ice cream parlor where all the hip cats, cool daddy-os, and swag mama jamas are bumping gums. Let 'em know that you've found the keenest, most nifty radio program that ever this newfangled interweb thing has to offer. You don't have to get all weird on 'em, you can just slip up casual-like and say something like, "Hey there, ladies and gents, fellas and dames, guys and dolls. Have you laid ears on that spiffy new radio podcast-mabob called Galacticus-man? Why, it's aces, the bee's knees, the cat's pajamas. I'm telling you, folks, that Galacticus-man, he's a real sockdologer. They'll be hip to your jib." Galacticus-man is a gross production, brought to you in part by Deep Bunker Studios. All characters and places are fictionalized. Any similarities to persons living or dead is purely satirical. This episode of Galacticus-man has been written, produced, and performed by Isaac Gross, with special guest appearance of Destiny Gross as Mrs. Magooseman, or the Crazy Cat Lady. Sound effects by Isaac Gross. Copyright by Isaac Gross. Incredible good looks, also Isaac Gross. Theme music for this episode has included The Roman Legionary by Martin Schalekins, as well as other altered open-source classical tunes.